Hi, my name is Bernhard, and we're at my studio located in Chicago, Illinois. I'm having a show opening at Richard Heller in Santa Monica, opening on May 11th. And the title of the show is called Take Me to Church. The whole show really is about a search for spirituality. I feel like for a long time I've been really missing that aspect of my life. All the animals are really it's all self-portraiture. I found it a little bit problematic to paint a specific gender, race, and body type. So I started just replacing my figures with cats and dogs. I felt like they're a little bit more humorous for people to project themselves onto, as well as just these loving creatures. This dog right here, it started out, he's just doing a yoga pose. So a search for spirituality and things like yoga was a starting point for us. I'm also really interested in vessels, a way to just talk about the body. So I should I don't know if we should do this, but I'll just switch to that one really fast. I want to do a series of vessels similar to this that are the size of the body. It's a bodily similarity between yourself and the vessel. Mm-hmm. But this piece it began with just the dog, and then I felt I'll throw the cat in there. Candles are really, I grew up in the Catholic Church. Okay. So I spent a lot of time in church with gold relics and things like that. So a lot of the times the things I paint will be gold. Just thinking about relics and the chalice, different things like that. And candles. I remember as a kid, just all the candles I would see in church and the smell of the incense. I drifted away from church for a really long time, but a lot of that imagery just kept showing up in my work without me really understanding why in the beginning. I just kept painting and painting and painting. The idea of just water falling out of the vessel is something that I'm really interested in as well. I think of water as the Holy Spirit in a way. So yeah, I have that one with the holes with the water coming out, and this one is just pouring. And then mirrors again, I keep using gold mirrors and portals to a different world. I love the filmmaker Terrence Malick. He did this film, The Tree of Life. In The Tree of Life, you have a dad and son having this really intimate relationship and conversations that really shape the child's life and what they're doing and saying. And then he'll pull back out of that picture and show cosmos. It took me a little while to figure out what he was maybe trying to say, but I watched those films so many times and started seeing myself, not realizing it at the time, but subconsciously I started painting the universe in different ways, the stars, the cosmos. I just think for me, it's an idea of a God, the infinite, and just how small we are in the world, and then zooming out into this gigantic space, So for me, it was just really, his films are really moving to me. And I remember when I saw the Knight of Cups for the first time, I just sat in the theater just sobbing because it touched me so much. I find myself painting these the universe and stars a lot.
One of the motifs I see a lot in your work are the joints. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, I feel I don't really want to be grouped as a stoner painter, but a lot of people see me that way, I think, which is, it's okay. But for me, a lot of the joints are, I listen to a lot of philosophy and theology while I paint, and I'm interested in the way that people search for spirituality with high priestesses and shamans administering cannabis to try to help people have spiritual awakenings. I also love when matter turns to something else, so matter to spirit. I do see the smoke as a spirit in some way, or a body, the joint being a body and the smoke being the soul. I think a lot of artists do, but just the big questions life and death. So I'm drawn to the smoke in a formal way. I can really do whatever I want with it. It's so organic. I can have it go to the right, to the left, swirl in and out, really help your eye move around the picture plane. But for me, it's really about matter to spirit and a soul and a body.
How did you get into painting?
I was trained in watercolor, and when I went to grad school, everyone there were oil painters but me. And I just was really inspired by all of my whole cohort that was painting. I was always scared of oil painting, to be honest, and I never took an oil painting class in undergrad or grad school. But I was really inspired to start working with that medium. And I did my first body of work that was oil paint my last semester in grad school. And I just made like these little tiny intimate paintings. And I'm still learning so much each day that I paint, but I fell in love with the medium then for sure.
So tell me about sort of like where you're at in the process of this and how you think about building these sort of like beautiful interiors with these characters and physical elements and how they all come together.
I feel like every painting is like its own being. I probably painted over this, honestly, maybe 10 times. It's been every different color. The sky's been 5 different colors. I just keep painting and painting and painting until it just feels right. I know that's not, you know, that descriptive, but that's really just what I do is I just keep painting and painting until it's an intuitive thing where I just say, oh, like, it reached the point that it needed to reach. Yeah, there's some paintings that the first initial image will stay.
Okay.
Somewhere I'll paint something and then have to move a lot of things around. Because the image in my head doesn't always match. Sometimes it's better on canvas and sometimes it's worse.
Yeah.
So it's just a process of continuing to find it, to search for the form, I guess, is the way to say it. There were shooting stars all over this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, they're not working. So I think maybe I'll do like just one big shooting star maybe.
Do you sketch or start with a name sometimes, or typically you figure that out as you go?
So every night when I'm trying to like wind down, this is my sketchbook, I like double as a pad.
Okay.
I'll start with words sometimes. Most of them start this loose. Like this
Okay.
one is this one.
Okay.
So the water coming out.
Mm-hmm.
These I haven't done these yet, but this one's like another example of like maybe lots of holes. So this painting is titled Dog Mom, and it's just a lot about like my yearning to be a mother one day.